Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we've got a couple things to cover today, including the NPD sales for the month of January. But first, let's take a look here at Sonic Origins. And we have a headline here from Gematsu, Sonic Origins Plus rated in Korea. So a shout out to the Korean ratings board for another leak. And we've seen Sega use this Plus labeling before with Sonic games. We had Sonic Mania Plus most recently, and that came out about a year after the original with some additional content. And you could upgrade your current version of Sonic Mania for $5. And they did have a separate physical version that you could get as well. And if we go all the way back to the GameCube days, we had Sonic Mega Collection Plus, and this came out a couple years after the first one, and they added some Game Gear games to that. So it'll be interesting to see what will be in this Sonic Origins Plus, whether or not it'll be additional content, or maybe they'll throw in some of those DLC bundles that you had to pay for with pre-order. Or maybe they'll throw in some extra characters like we saw with Sonic Mania Plus. But I wouldn't expect to see extra Sonic games in this Plus edition. It's probably just, like I said, going to be more characters or maybe some cosmetics. Now let's take a look at the NPD sales for the month of January. And first we have this little summary here showing that pretty much everything is down compared to January of last year, except for hardware just remained flat. And probably the reason hardware remained flat is the increased production of PlayStation 5. In fact, the PlayStation 5 was the US market's best-selling hardware platform for January, both in unit sales and in dollar amounts. And the Switch came in second again in both the dollar amount and unit sales. And now let's take a look at the breakdown of software sales in the top 20. Starting at number 1, of course, we see Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And this is the 4th consecutive month that it has topped the charts. And number 2, we have a new one with Dead Space. And then at 4 and 5, we have our sports titles, Madden NFL 23 and FIFA 23. And Fire Emblem Engage coming in at number 5, and of course Nintendo doesn't release their digital sales numbers, but if you remember back to the Q3 investor call, their digital to physical split is approaching 50-50. And also Fire Emblem Engage came out in the middle of the month, so I'd expect it to be near the top of the list again in February. And then looking down through the rest of the list, of course we have Elden Ring still up there pretty high, and Forspoken came out toward the end of January, coming in at number 7. And honestly, I would have expected it to have done better than this, although the reviews were not great, so I'm thinking that probably hurt their sales. And then at number 8, we have God of War Ragnarok still doing well, and the other new title in this list is One Piece Odyssey. And then finally in the top 10, we still have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And just an interesting note, on the bottom half of this list, we do see The Last of Us Part 1 jump back up from 36th, and that's probably because of the HBO series sparking a new interest in the franchise. Now, they don't have a breakdown this time of sales per system, so individual Switch sales or individual PlayStation 5 sales. But overall, not a huge surprise with some of these numbers. Obviously, The Last of Us Part 1 jumping back up was good to see, and it makes you wonder what's going to happen to Mario games when the Mario movie comes out in a few months. And that's all we have for today. Did anything we cover catch your attention? And if you liked this video and found it informative, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel so you can get this into your feed more often. I want to thank you for watching and be good.